Hi there, I'm Annelise Gray and I'm the author of a new book, Circus Maximus, Race to the Death, which is the story of a young girl called Dido who longs to be the first girl to race chariots at the Circus Maximus, which was the greatest sporting arena in ancient Rome. But Dido finds herself in terrible danger one night after seeing something she shouldn't, and she's forced to leave her home and everything that she loves. But despite that, she doesn't give up on her dream, and the book follows her quest to become a charioteer and at the same time stay ahead of the men trying to hunt her down. I'm going to read you a little bit from the second chapter of the book, which takes place on the day of some races at the Circus Maximus, and we meet Dido, who is working as a groom in the stables of the Greens, which is one of the 4 big racing teams in Roman chariot racing, and it's where her father Antonius is the head trainer. And helping her in the stables today is Justus, who is the nephew of the team's wealthy owner. You missed a bit, Justus. There, down by his fetlock. Oh, don't be so fussy, Dido. No one's going to notice that. Justus pushed his dark hair off his forehead. Do it. I finished tying the last green ribbon into Nessa's mane and stepped off the upturned bucket to inspect them proudly. I was known at the stables for the neatness of my plaiting. Papa won't be happy unless everything is perfect. Who's in charge here? My uncle or your father? My father, as it happens. Your uncle may own the faction, but in the stables, Antonius's word is law. Ruga sent you here to learn, so get brushing. Justus rolled his eyes, but I could tell he wasn't really offended by my ordering him about. Most boys would be, especially when they were 3 years older. It was one of the nice things about Justus. I gave Nessus his coat one last brush, then took a hoof-pick from the grooming bucket and clicked my tongue to encourage him to lift his foot. To my surprise, he kicked out. Hey, what's the matter, boy? Nessus swished his tail angrily. Maybe he thinks his feet are clean enough, suggested Justus. I was about to say something rude in reply when I noticed what was happening by the Blues stables opposite. Look, Justus, look! I jumped up on the half door of the stall, balancing on my elbows. Outside was the usual race day scene of chaotic activity. Grooms from all the 4 factions, reds, whites, blues, and greens, were scurrying across the Forum Boreum, bringing out horses in pairs and teams of 4 from the circus stables. A stench lingered in the air from the piles of uncleared dung. Glossy with water and sweat, the horses were twitching as they eyeballed the crowds, their nostrils opening and closing like bellows as they were hitched into harness. Chariot engineers held whispered conferences, testing baskets with their weight, tightening axles, shortening reins. Vets watched critically as horses were given a final walkout in front of them. But none of that interested me right now. Everyone in the Forum, even the Green supporters, was watching the stables opposite ours, which were being used by our great rivals, the Blues. A man wearing a close-fitting helmet over his long curly black hair and a breastplate of leather strapping over his blue tunic had emerged from the driver's changing room and was holding up his hand to acknowledge the cheers of the Blues supporters. It's Fabius, the Blues number 1, 452 victories, 276 second places, and 112 third places from 1,086 races. Come over here, Justus. You have to see this.